Alright, hello and welcome to my bash scripting tutorial series. So, to start off, we're going to do a basic bash script. I'm assuming all of you are running some form of Linux and are using some text editor. It doesn't matter what. I'm using Gitkraken because I'm going to be pushing everything on here up to GitHub, and it's just more convenient to write it in here. So, first step, create a file. We're going to call this firstscript.sh. That's not really terribly important. Just call it whatever you feel works. So normally there would be something put here. user/m/bin/bash. But for some reason when I tried this in a different virtual machine, it didn't like that. So we're going to see how this works. Alright, so now we're just going to do sudo apt-get update, sudo apt-get upgrade. There's going to be, but what we are going to do is we're going to put it in a function. Upgrade, parentheses, curly bracket, sudo apt-get update. So here's where the different part comes in. This makes it so that it does not require your input after running the script through the command prompt or anything other than the initial running of the script. And then we're going to sudo apt-get upgrade tac force yes tac y, and then down here we're going to call upgrade, and that should do it for the first script. So now we're going to Control-Alt-T, cd into our library for this, or our directory. So you'll see the script is over here. It is not green, which means it is not executable. So chmod +x first script, and now it shows up as green, which means you can run it. So we're going to do sudo /firstscript.sh, input your password, and that's always a good sign. So that's exactly what happened to me last time. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take out this tag, which is normally required for bash scripts, but it hasn't been working for me. So there we go. We are all good now, and the script runs. Try using the bash tag at the top of your script. It might be required for you. I know for some reason it's not wanting me to do it, but that's not terribly important. So I'm going to take this opportunity to update my brand new VM. I will be back as soon as it finishes. Alright, now that that is done installing, I'm going to make my first commit message here. Alright, now that is finished. So now what we're going to do, or at least what I'm going to do, I'm going to branch out, name this authentication. In this branch, I'm going to edit this file. So now we are adding another function. And this function is going to ask the user for input. And then after we are done with this, it will require user input to authenticate that you do in fact want to install, update, and upgrade the repository. So first off, echo, do you want to update and upgrade this system? Yes or no? I'd say that's fairly straightforward. Now we're going to make a variable ants, or rather read ants for answer. Now we're going to make a case statement, a good old case statement. Case ants in. So no, I am not upgrading to 18.04. Now we're going to have multiple different options. So we have yes, yes lowercase, y, y lowercase, and if it does all of that, then we call the upgrade module. There we go. And now, alternatively, we have no, no, n, and n. And if it does that, we exit. Fairly straightforward. Now this is going to be the maybe mildly confusing part. I'm going to put in an asterisk. And when I do this, it's going to print to the command prompt. Please enter a valid input. Then it's going to recall authentication. Sec, which closes the case statement, which is very, very similar to an if. So now, when we're down here, we're going to call authentication. I'm going to save that. Hope it works. So we shall see. So I'm just going to do sudo / documents / gitkraken / linux / first script. Put in the password. And then on line 13, there is an unexpected word. So line 13. Oh, I see what I did. I put a 0 instead of a parentheses. Now we're going to try that again. Yes, I do. And there we have it. It just works, folks. It just works. Now, I know this has been a really, really rather basic tutorial. So, this is just to give you an idea of what you can automate in Bash with some of the functions that they have in there. Now I'm going to go over why you should use these functions and why I use these functions. So, or this way of doing it. So, using functions. Well, obviously, you only have to code it once. And then you can just call it again and again, no matter how many times you need it. So, for example, in one of my other repositories, well, not on this one, I did this one for Cyberpatriot. So, this was on my other GitHub account. I just made a new one. We're going to open this up. And you're going to see a lot of crap in here. And it's going to be confusing. Alright, so you can see just how much longer this is than the other script we just went over. Yep. So, a big part of why this is longer is this. I made it pretty. So I will show you what it looks like in a future script when we get to doing UI parts, instead of just the basic functions, which are significantly more important. So then you can see I did it less efficiently here with the variables for input because I didn't know I could do it another way. And then you'll see I am, again, using case statements and lots and lots and lots of functions. So this one does have the bin bash tag. For some reason this works, and the other one doesn't. I genuinely don't know why. So we have a case statement here for the first, the intro UI. We have a case statement for the main screen, which has all of the different options of the script that I wrote, of this script that I wrote. You can see that here. There are a total of 13 possibilities. 12 hard-coded, and one that takes anything that doesn't happen in the ones before it. And then we have another case statement right here for another module, another function, another function. This one does not have a case statement, but it does have a read function, which I use for a different purpose in this function. Then we have another function here, again with a read, but again for a different purpose. And each of these functions calls at least one different other function from within it. So at the bottom of this script, I only call, to begin with, one function. Everything else is inside of a different function. So you see, I call the home screen function, which is all the way back up here, the main display. So this is why functions are absolutely huge, because they may give you the ability to compartmentalize all of your code. And I am by no means a professional programmer. I made this for fun because I felt like it. And it is, if I remember correctly, 1,274 lines of code. I wrote almost all of that by scratch. A lot of it I did steal from online guides and tutorials. I have all of those references linked somewhere. Oh, I don't have it on my GitHub. I have that on the file that I uploaded to Mr. Lang's Microsoft Teams for the class under Linux OS. It's hosted in a folder there. So there's a list of all of the references that I used in building this script for Cyberpatriot. You cannot use this script for Cyberpatriot. It goes against their rules. Any scripts that are used must be publicly available and not be made specifically for Cyberpatriot unless they are made by the person on the team who is using it, or by someone else on the team for that team. I don't count anymore. I'm an alumni. I graduated. So now we're going to go back to this other one, the Linux tutorial series script. So TAC Force yes. Just way more convenient when you're doing a lot of stuff in a short, limited amount of time, like Cyberpatriot. Double authentication, always useful. Even if you want to take this out, that's because it's one function. When you actively call it for a different function on its own, you want to have authentication, because you don't want to accidentally do something before you're ready to and screw up your scoring opportunity or do something out of order, messing up other processes that you have to do. The redundancy with this. You're not always going to want to type all of yes. Sometimes you're not going to want to do a capital Y, etc., etc. Then the asterisk just catches any other input that's thrown in so that it doesn't break the script. And again, I reference another function, and you can call a function from within itself. So instead of making a loop for this, I just recall the function and it goes back up to the top. And that works really well for me. And then exit just exits the script entirely. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an insight into basic bash scripting. I'm going to be working on another video sometime within the next couple of weeks that goes even more in depth. I'll probably aim for another 15 to 20 minute video.